that gave me that title, Unbreakable Faith, because even though the trials and tribulations that I've been through in my life, of course, you hear this cliche, I don't look like what I've been through, but I really don't look like what I've been through. I don't. A young girl that grew up to be 3.5, 4 years old, molested by 2 of her uncles, and then continued through the age of 10 years old to be molested by 2 other uncles, and at 14 to be raped. And then when the story comes out that I was raped, I was told by family that I was a liar and a whore and a slut, and no police could be called. It would shut your mouth. Don't tell anybody. If you do, everybody's gonna die. That's what happened to me.
Welcome to Season 5 of the Be Your Own Kind podcast, where we interview individuals that are basking in the lane they have created. To keep up with all things BYOK, visit our website at beyourownkind.com. While there, stop by the BYOK shop to grab our merch to add daily inspiration to your life. BYOK has also created a Facebook group that offers giveaways, business advice, and lots of laughs. And most importantly, sisterhood. Have time for a chat or to just get acquainted with your girl? Go to our site and click under bookings to set up a 30-minute coffee chat. Be sure to tune into the BYOK 2 Cents Live every Wednesday at 9:20 Central Standard Time on the BYOK platform YouTube channel, or you can listen to us on Fluent Radio at www.fluentradio.com. Last but not least, if you love our content, please subscribe to our YouTube channel and share our episodes. Or if you feel so inclined, send a donation to our PayPal at paypal.me/BYOK24. Thank you for rocking with us each season and enjoy the episode. Well, hello, Michelle. How are you today?
I am wonderful.
Awesome. Thank you for being on the platform today. And would you like to just let the audience know a little bit about yourself?
Okay, well, I am Michelle Dewitt. I am a mother of 6. I have a well-blended family. I am an author of the book I've Been There, and I am a minister. I love the gospel of Jesus Christ, and I love working with children. I have an organization called Unbreakable Faith, which caters to those that have been sexually abused.
Okay, I love that. That's a lot, right? That's a lot. But mother of 6, that's a lot. And then you have a lot of siblings as well, right?
I do. I have 4 brothers.
Oh, okay. Only girl, huh?
I'm the only girl that my mother had. Now I do have 2 sisters on my dad's side. Yeah.
Oh.
But yeah, the only girl that my mom had. Yes.
Okay. You got all the protection growing up.
I've been smack in the middle too.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So you mentioned that you were an author of a book called I've Been There.
Yes.
First of all, I love that title because it's nothing more rewarding than hearing someone say that, because that's indicative of I'm not alone.
That's absolutely right. And that's the purpose of the book. I've been there. When you hear that, like you said, you're like, wow, when you're talking to a friend or a family member and they're like, you know what, I've been on that. I've been there before. I've been there. And so that's what my book is about. It talks about the horrific experiences that I went through as a child, as to where I am today, working with my own organization to help those that have been sexually abused, because I was sexually abused, but I didn't have a voice as a young child. And I went through it for many years. And at the age of 14, I was raped by a family member. And I didn't have anyone on my side. You would think that, you would come together closer as family, but it didn't happen that way. And I share that story in my book, as well as other stories in my life. I'm a breast cancer survivor as well. And I talk about that. I talk about my marriage and my children and the struggles that I went through with my children. So overall, telling my story without shame, without holding back. I tell people, when you get my book, I've been there. It's not a bedside. Okay? Don't read it at school. Okay. Because I come out with some very deep stuff at the beginning, and people always tell me they can't put the book down.
Love that. I have to check that out. I mean, we need that type of vulnerability, because it's great. The ending product is nice, and that is encouraging within itself. But people that are in their storm, that don't help them much, right? Like, I need somebody that I know have been there, that know how, that have experienced and felt how I felt in said moment. And so we need more stories, more people to share their stories.
Right. I mean, it's just so people get frustrated and they want to go to social media and splatter all their feelings and emotions on social media. And it's very disheartening to me because I know how cruel people can be. And at your moment of vulnerability to put that out there, you're asking for that punch in the face.
Mm-hmm.
That's my opinion with that. I do not post anything concerning negativism. Now, if you ask me a question, be ready for the answer because I do keep it 100.
You like, so watch what you say, watch your mouth. Play with me nicely. And so you mentioned earlier also that you have a nonprofit named Unbreakable Faith. Um, can you share more on that? Because I feel like you're sharing more about what that do kind of correlates with what you just mentioned of what you've been through, throughout your life.
Right. So I did. It was nobody but the Spirit of the Lord that gave me that title, Unbreakable Faith, because even though the trials and the tribulations that I've been through in my life, of course, you hear this cliche, I don't look like what I've been through, but I really don't look like what I've been through. I don't. A young girl that grew up to be 3.5, 4 years old, molested by 2 of her uncles, and then continued through the age of 10 years old to be molested by 2 other uncles, and at 14 to be raped. And then when the story comes out that I was raped, I was told by family that I was a liar and a whore and a slut, and no police could be called. It would shut your mouth. Don't tell anybody. If you do, everybody's gonna die. That's what happened to me. So with that being said, it didn't break me, even though I was a little girl trying to grow in as a little girl, and all the emotions and everything that was going on. I still didn't break. I didn't have counseling or anything like that. A lot of people who read my book said that they would still be somewhere in behavioral health, getting medication, counseling, and all that. But I am thankful that God gave me the notion to open up Unbreakable Faith, a mentorship program to help children that have been sexually abused, just as I was, from 7 up to 17. We cater to them, and I know that they're going through traumatic experiences, and so we offer a 6-week program to help encourage them along the way, help them build their self-esteem back up. We also are a heavy resource agency to help the caregivers. They're going through that too, to find out that your child has been sexually violated. That is mind-blowing, overwhelming. All kind of emotions go on with that. And then we help young adults ages 18 to 22 that may have gone through it and they don't know, at this point, what else can I do? I'm an adult, young adult now, and this is the way I'm feeling about going on a college campus. And this happened to me while I was younger. And here it is now. I'm out there open, I'm alone, I'm by myself. Our organization, our number one thing is we want you to know you have a voice and we have your back. We got your back. We want you to know that we're going to walk step by step with you and we're going to get you through this, because if God did it for me, I know he can do it for them. Now, my organization is not so much to say Christian based, but my faith and my belief has led me to this point. We don't turn away anyone. It doesn't matter. And the uniqueness about my program is that we cater to male and female. A lot of programs either cater to one or the other. We cater to both.
I love that. I love that. Because it's already a lot of courage to even say that happened. And a lot of people, the first thing is, well, why didn't you say it then? Why didn't you say it then? Because you look at people that did say it and how somehow it's their fault, or they could have did this, or maybe they sent off signals, anything, or you're fast. That's the main one,
Yeah, you were fast.
Yeah. My thing is, even if I came outside buck naked, that still doesn't give anybody the go ahead to violate me. Okay, it is a little unorthodox to be out there naked, but that doesn't give you an okay.
Yeah.
To touch me. You know what I'm saying? And it's not your fault. I think when you realize that it's not your fault and you give your power back and hold them accountable for violating you, that itself is freeing, and the start of healing,
If you don't forgive yourself, because just picture sitting on the couch and your grandmother is there and your dad's there. He's abusive, verbally and physically abusive to your mother and to you and your brothers. And we're all sitting in the living room where now the story is out. I didn't tell the story. I told it to someone else. They called my mother, and here it is, a big family meeting. And to hear your family say, "You're a liar, and this didn't happen." My mother was the only one that tried her hardest to protect me. My grandmother, she didn't. She said, "My son would never do that." And I said, "He did. You saw me. You opened up the door and you closed it back. You saw him on top of me." Yeah. And my grandmother said, she put her hand in my face and she said, "You're going to hell for lying." And my daddy called me a slut and a whore and fast. Yeah. My mom, she picked up the phone to call the police. That's when really all hell broke loose. But I can't tell you because you got to get the book. I've been there.
Yeah, somebody say, don't give us all that. Let us buy the book.
Take any more. So that's what I tell people, get the book. Get the book.
Yeah.
Get the book.
And I've heard so many stories where the parent does know, or the parent has seen it, and it's just the blind eye. They turn a blind eye, because in disbelief, or if a boyfriend or a stepfather, because they rather not be alone, so they tell themselves like, "No, you're fast. You didn't, this isn't true. You made this up," and things of that sort. And so I feel like the fact that even though other people weren't believing you, your mom was like, "Nah, that's not cool. We're gonna do something about this." Because I hear a lot of moms that don't stick up, for their child, and they just cower down. But I love the fact that your mom was like a lion, like, "Nah, this isn't cool. That's my baby, and I want to protect her." So I commend you for your courage.
Thank you so much. I am so grateful to be able to tell the story. Some people are so torn and ripped and hurt and brutally violated to the point they can never tell their story because of the way that it happened and the outcome of it. But I don't mind sharing. At first, I was that person who was very fragile, but God has given me the strength to share.
Yeah, I first shared with my husband. I held it in for years. And we were probably 10 years in our marriage, and I finally just told him the story, because I felt so stupid, and after I, told him my experience of when I was raped, he was like, "That's not your fault, babe. That's not your," and I don't know how liberating it was to hear that, because but I feel so stupid. He said, "You're not stupid. You're not stupid. It's on them. It's not on you." That's what I'm saying. Those words were the start of healing, because I've kept it to myself. Because the thing about keeping stuff like that to yourself is it affects your relationships.
Absolutely.
When somebody touch you, and even at sex, sometimes depending on where your mind is, it affects you. It's a violation. that is, I want to say, like almost a life sentence if you don't heal from it or find ways to navigate when you have those triggers. Because it's still like he would touch me sometimes and I would jump, and I felt like when I told him what happened, it gave him a better understanding to why I was the way I was, because he took it as me being standoffish, not being attractive to him. But then when I said what happened, he's more cautious. Like he'll let me know he's in the room before he touched me or say something because I was jumping. And so I mean now over time I feel more comfortable with that. But how can people know, especially the ones that love you, know how to treat you or help you if they don't know what happened, if they don't know where it's stemming from, you know? So
I'm a strong believer in counseling. I
mm-hmm.
am a strong believer in that. Even though I didn't receive counsel, I received counsel through the Holy Spirit. I will say that, but I didn't receive counseling. But I tell people that come and talk about it. You need counseling. You have to get it in order for you to get to the point where you can definitely say, okay, I'm on the road now. I'm on the road to my healing. I'm on the road, because right now you're stuck. You are stuck in this place, in a mental place in your mind. And just as you stated, you're not going to have good relationships because of that. A smell may trigger you. And like you said, somebody rub their hand on your back, that's going to be a trigger. Or if you're standing in line at the grocery store and the line gets closed and somebody's breathing, you may have a trigger then. You need to know what your triggers are. You may do it so much to the point you don't even realize that it's a trigger anymore. So you have to have that counseling. You've got to. It's the best thing. You can tell this person who you don't know all that you felt. You can tell them what you want to do to the person. You got a counselor. You can let it all out. Tell them. Your best friend may not be the person you want to tell, because we don't want to see them on the 12 o'clock, 11 o'clock news for what they did. And you don't want to tell your brother or your sister, because we're not trying to get bond money for those people to get out.
Right.
So yeah, you need to go to a counselor. I joke around with it, but I'm serious that you need counseling. If that is something that is still in your head, you're still dealing with it, you're crying, you're constantly. If you cannot tell your story without crying, you still need counseling. You still need counseling, because when you have become an overcomer or something, you rejoice. You get excited about it. You want to tell the world, I overcome it. When they hit what's her name? Coco?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, and Timmy? That girl doing her thing, right? But you know what she does? She screams it out when she has become successful, when she knows she has won the battle. And that's what you have to do. When you know that battle is no longer a part of you, is gone, is over, is it? You can tell the story then. Our counselor told me that I went to counseling for something else. And a counselor said, for you to tell me this story and not shed a tear, she said, you are a true overcomer. Yeah.
Yeah. And to share it repeatedly, because I know you've had to share it a lot, And I feel like that also comes with sharing. Like you just said, just talking it out. Because we can't speak everything out. We can't write everything out. Sometimes it has to come out. Come out
verbally. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I tell the youth that I talk to, I ask them to write down the person's name that violated them. And I tell them, once they write that name down, I want you to start tearing the paper out. And with each tear, I want you to tear that paper up. And if you want to curse them out with a tear it. If you want to say something negative about how you felt about that negative feeling that you felt, tear it and say it. Whatever it is, I want you to understand that person, once you get to the end, we cast it out into the fire. Now you have a new beginning. There is nothing in your hands anymore. Now you have a new beginning. Let's start this new process. Take this sheet of paper and write your name on it. And with this sheet of paper with your name on it, I want you to look at your name and call your name out and say, what are the good qualities in you? What are you? People love you because you smile beautifully. You know that you can be the best singer, you sing well, or whatever it is. I love to write. What is this about Michelle that Michelle loves about herself? What is it about you that no one else knows about you? You know?
Yeah.
What is that? Michelle loves to write poems. What is that? So you give them that and you let them know that old thing the Bible says is now cast away. Behold, you are new. You're new. I may not use scripture, but I use scripture.
Love that. I love that. I love that. This episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. People often think anxiety looks one way, but it has many faces and many emotions that sometimes can be overwhelming and daunting. I know about this feeling all too well because at a point I felt powerless to my emotions, almost to the point of drowning in them. So I decided to seek out a therapist to later learn that I have generalized anxiety disorder. If you have been experiencing the same feeling, please know that BetterHelp is here to help. BetterHelp offers licensed therapists who are trained to listen and help you. You have the option of talking with a therapist in a private, online environment at your convenience. There is a broad range of expertise in BetterHelp's 20,000 plus therapist network that gives you access to help that may not be available in under 48 hours. All you have to do is fill out a questionnaire to help assess your specific need, and then you get matched with a therapist in under 48 hours. Then you will schedule secure video and phone sessions. Plus, you get to exchange unlimited messages, and everything you share is completely confidential. Thanks to therapy, I learned the tools that I needed to conquer my anxiety and over obsessive thinking. I did it afraid, and I took that leap to talk with someone, to later learn that it was going to be okay and that I was going to be okay. Please know that you can request a new therapist at no additional charge anytime. Join the 3 million plus people who have taken charge of their mental health with an experienced BetterHelp therapist. And better yet, get 10% off your first month at betterhelp.com/BYOK. That's betterhelp.com/BYOK because you deserve it. So Michelle, you wanted to dive more into getting through or navigating through childhood trauma. And so in my mind, I feel like most or if all trauma does stem from childhood, some seed was planted, whether, we know what seed it was or not. I feel like most things that we struggle with or wrestle with had to be from something that happened when we were younger. So I always hear the term embracing the inner child, but I feel like before we even reach that point of doing that, there's an initial start to that healing, and I wanted to ask you what do you feel like the initial start of healing is?
Confession to yourself. Confess to yourself that you're not okay. You have to tell yourself, I'm not okay. This is the feelings that I'm feeling inside of me. I'm up, I'm down, I'm all around. I'm not okay. Something's not right. And when you start to recalculate the things that have happened in your life, that thing that has caused you trauma, that's the thing you need to deal with. You didn't have to, but you have to start out with confessing. Confess to yourself that you're not okay. And then the second thing is see about receiving help. Again, I go back to that. Once you know, definitely this is something that I need to get fixed, start working on. Recognize too that this is going to be a process. Your process may be a long process. It may not take a month or two. It may take you 2 or 3 years. Be prepared. Don't get frustrated. Keep going. Because if you want anything in life, you're going to work hard at it. And people say that when it comes down to money or getting the lavish things. But what about the simple thing called a clean mind, a comfortable place, a peace of mind? That's what I want. A peace of mind. What about that? Anything that you want bad enough, if it's a peace of mind, then work at getting that peace of mind. Going for walks, um, having conversations in a journal. Those are the type of things that you want to do. If you have a spouse, just as you said, and you never said anything, maybe today's the best day to do it. Let's have coffee. Can we talk? It's not about you. It's not about our relationship. It's something that's burning in my heart, and I need to share it. I got to tell you this. And once that come out, just as you said, it changes everything in the atmosphere. Now your spouse or your significant other understands a whole lot better. My husband and I, we've been married 14 years. He is a big pusher, and I'm grateful for my husband. He's been there with me, starting with the writing of the book, and I was concerned, and I talked to my friend who's published a book. She has a publishing company, and I said I am fearful of my family and what they're going to say. And the thing that she said to me was so profound. You're fearful of what your family's going to say that didn't have your back at that time, and you think that they're going to have your back today? She said, what are you worried about? She said, stop. Write your story. Tell your truth. And don't worry about them. They didn't have you then. They're not, definitely not going to have you now. So she said, just keep going. And my husband, he was right there the whole time. He's still with me, and we still go through the process of, talking to these youth. I went to Department of Juvenile Justice to talk to the young guys, and we're talking about 14 years old, 14 up to 16, and they're in juvenile. They're in the system because of the crimes that they've committed. A lot of times we look at our children and we say to our children, they have the worst attitude. They're just this and they're just that. They're not bad. We don't have bad children. They're misguided. Even when you guide them, they get a little off track. But using the word bad is just horrible to me. I don't want to say that. I let them know you don't understand certain things, and this is why we do da da da. But anyway, I'm getting off track. I believe that with talking to them, it just brought a lot of compassion in my heart, because now you're in the juvenile justice system and you have something else that has caused you to be so angry that you want to go out there and go get the man or go get the one man, and that person is not even in your life anymore, right? That teacher that violated you, you've moved to another state. That teacher's still there, but you didn't tell anybody about that teacher violating you. So now you're angry because you didn't tell anybody. And no one understands why you're angry and upset. They're trying to understand what's wrong with you. And you never said anything. When you tell, then you're beginning the freedom process. And I explained to the gentleman, I said, a lot of times people want to put out there this myth that if a young male has been violated, that they're gay. And all of them was like, yeah, that's what that means, because they let them do it. I said, really? And so I gave them a scenario to let them know, what if it was your coach? And your coach says, hey, you know what? I want you to come over to my house. We're going to chill out. Your mom's working so hard, and I just want to give her a break, and you come over and you go to the house, and he's got weed laid out. He has alcohol for you. You can have whatever you want. It's your secret and his, right? So now you're doing those things, and he's sitting back and he's self-satisfied because now he set you up. You can tell your parents that you did this at his house and you didn't know where it came from, and you can't believe anything this child is saying. No, I would never touch your child. I am a profound man or a wonderful teacher. I asked them that question. What would you do then? How would you handle that? Does that mean that that person is now gay? And they was like, no, that's his fault. Exactly. Exactly. That doesn't mean that a person is gay. So that is a myth. That doesn't mean that a woman touches another woman that she's now a lesbian. That's the myth. I tell them, look at Common, the rapper Common. He came out that he was violated. You know, he talked about that. There are some, it's a basketball player, he doesn't play basketball anymore, but he came out and he talked about it. And so I show videos to them of those popular people in their life that have actually come out and shared that they were violated. And these young boys were very shocked. One young man, he was so shocked that it triggered him. Now, mind you, I didn't know anything about it, but he was like, man, y'all shut up. Y'all saying that. He said, but I'm not gay, and my uncle touched me. He said, I've never said anything except for to my mom that she need to watch him. He said, but after this session, I'm going to call my mom and tell my mom to watch out for my little sister. That is what my goal is. Mm-hmm. And I hate that these young men are being locked up and not going through any kind of counseling. They closed down the Department of Juvenile Justice here in Charlotte. And I hate that. Because now those young boys that committed adult crimes are going now to be in adult prisons. And you're talking about 16 years old, a child. He murdered someone. He's still a child, but he's going to adult prison without any counseling, without anything. They're just going to put him in there. And we all know how adult prison can get.
Yeah.
We have to do better. We need to spread the word. We need advocacy on every corner. Not talking about this other stuff about the money issue and all that. We need help here with our children. We need people to be mentors and counselors. We need more of that. Sex trafficking. We are number 1 in Charlotte out of North Carolina. Out of all of North Carolina, Charlotte is number 1 as of August 2023. Sex trafficking. Why? Because we have the connections. You run them through Charlotte, you hit Florida right away. Florida to Mexico. The highways they're right there. You pick them up, you throw them in the van, in the car, and you're gone. We need to educate our parents and our youth about predators, sex trafficking, and the grooming process. What takes place? It starts on social media with our children.
Yeah.
And if parents don't pay attention to their children, what they're looking at, their behaviors, they will slip right through the crack. If they don't.
True. That's true, because all it takes is a DM.
Yeah, that's all.
And so, let me see what you're looking at. Just snatch the phone. Let me see what you're looking at. Ma, I don't care. Who are you looking at? What are you looking at? Where are you at? Where are you going?
Absolutely. I talk to parents. I have a work. Actually, as a matter of fact, I was going through my workbook right here where I'm saying, parents, let's get this done. Parents, real talk work. It's my workbook for them. And we actually go through the workbook and we talk about the signs. We talk about what to look for, the behaviors of your child changing. And, I just really hope and pray that my voice is heard all the way up to the Capitol. You know what I mean? Yeah. It should be more people advocating. This is not a subject that people want to talk about. This makes a person uncomfortable. Good. I'm glad you're uncomfortable. I want you to be so uncomfortable to the point you want to fix the situation at any cost. You shouldn't be uncomfortable.
Right. I think the uncomfortable comes from now you got to open up them skeletons in your family closet, or open up them skeletons, I hate to say it, in the church's closet, because that happens in the church, happens at school, happens in the Boy Scouts. Like, it's in those places that are supposed to be safe.
The boys club,
yeah,
girls and boys clubs.
Yeah, it's supposed to be safe. Home is supposed to be safe. Church is supposed to be safe. School is supposed to be safe, but it's not. But it's like, let's clean that out so it can actually be safe.
Absolutely. And you're right. It happens in the churches. Oh my goodness. Do you realize that when we were growing up, we didn't hear about this a lot? Do you realize now, every time you turn the television on, somebody has been violated, sexually abused, somebody has been raped, somebody has been in sex trafficking for umpteen years? Do you realize how often we're hearing it now?
Yeah.
We're hearing it so much, so now it's just like sunshine and rain falling, sunshine and rain. Okay, so what's the temperature today? That's how we're taking it, and it shouldn't be taken that way. These
No.
children are hurting. They're hurting and they're going to other things. Fentanyl, cocaine. I'm talking about 16, 17-year-olds. They're going out wanting to rape somebody because they were hurt. Now they're going out raping elderly people. They're prying on the ones who can't hardly fight back because they were hurt. Hurt begets hurt.
Right. Right.
And we have to do better. We have to do better. We got to do better. I have talked to quite a few people, and they tell me that they want to, but they don't know how to. I'm here telling you what you can do. But the thing is not you don't know how, it's that you're fearful of what the outcome will be. That's the problem.
Right.
And it should be something that is advocated for all over the place. Churches should have their doors open to have people like me come in and talk about it. Schools should have the doors open for people like me to talk to the parents. You have workshops for everything else.
Right.
You have after school events and parents coming in to talk about this and do that, and the school's raising money for this. And what about our children?
Right. Where's the national emergency on that? All these kids disappearing.
Exactly. Exactly. And then they're going back to the parents at the age of 22, 23, if the parents are still alive.
Right.
They could have died in misery, heartbreak. You don't know until you try to look for them once you escape.
Right.
We need to do better.
Yeah. I agree. It just seemed like it's just swept under the rug.
Yeah.
It's an everyday thing. Oh, another girl. Unless it's a story like, I can't remember the young lady's name now, who faked her abduction. That makes national news.
That to me was like, what? What? Honey, I was so mad. My husband said, calm down. Oh, I saw that on the news. I heard that. I came running out the room. I said, what?
Yeah.
What?
Now, do you think that people that fabricate, being raped or being abducted, do you think that kind of dilute the cause or dilute the awareness of what's going, people of actual people that have been violated?
I can't say that because we don't hear that a lot. You hear more about people being abducted and versus those who are faking it.
Okay.
So I don't think so.
Okay.
And I guess it's because I worked in the school system for 20 years and I've heard stories, and the stories I've heard outweigh the stories of those who are faking it. I mean, the stories, if it really happened, the story is going to be consistent across the board. It's just going to be consistent. You're not going to tell me that it happened at night and then you tell somebody else it happened in the morning. It was early. It was 6 o'clock. You told somebody else it was 8 o'clock. It's not going to, and then you tell somebody else it was at 12. No, see, that's just too many bumps in the road. Unless you have three different people you talk about.
Right.
So I don't think so. I really feel that those people are eventually it's gonna come out that you're lying. Okay. And it's hard, but I don't think it should stop anyone from at least assisting. It's just like an alcoholic. A person that's an alcoholic, they can go and you can help them go into the rehab center. But if they're not ready, they're not ready. Right. Does that mean stop helping them? No. Only thing we can do by our way of stop helping them is not to continue to give them what they're asking for, money or whatever. No, it doesn't mean that we stop with anyone else. Because you don't want to stop doesn't mean that he doesn't want to stop, right? So we're going to keep going.
Right. I love that. So as far as, trauma and things we experience in our childhood, first of all, I just want to say I like the fact that you're trying to tackle the trauma while they're still a child.
Yeah.
To get them a better hope for and being an adult. But for us that didn't have that, I know you said that the first part is just confessing and these things, but when you're in the healing process, do you have any like coping mechanisms that a person can practice while they're in their healing journey?
What I tell people to do is breathe. Just breathe. Just a moment of silence. Breathe. Because while you're walking through this, it's going to bring back some scary moments, right? You're going to remember some scary, horrific moments. Mm-hmm. And when that comes, you need to take a deep breath and breathe. That's one thing that I tell them. And there's a time that while you're going back and you're going into your counseling session, a counselor is going to tell you it's all right to cry. And I say the same. If you have to cry, then cry. And while you're crying, if it brings on anger, you can get angry, but please don't hurt anyone else. Go out and boxing, in a boxing ring, whatever that thing is to release the frustration and aggravation, do it. That's what I tell them. Let's go through this step of recognizing who you truly are. This is not the person that's hurt anymore. You're not, as you're going through this as a young adult, take your time. Don't rush it. Because if you do, you're going to miss out something. And in that process, it may come back up later. And you want to make sure that you are going through it. Now, not to say this doesn't come up later. Let me be clear. There are times, even though I know that I am no longer a victim, there are times that I do recall some things that happen when I tell the story. There are some things that come up. That's never going to go away. Right. But it's just like a Band-Aid that's on that spray. It's going to heal. You still going to have the mark there, but it's healed though. It's healed. And you have to go through that process the same way that you use naproxen to heal your skin, and you got to change the bandages the same way that you go through that in your body. Do the same thing in your life. Do the same thing. Take your time. And when it gets a little dirty, clean it up. Take your time. As an adult, it's going to get better. Don't substitute it with drugs or sex or alcohol. Don't do that. You utilize your time for something good. That may be going out walking. Maybe you want to get into a sport. That may be going swimming. It may be whatever it is that you like to do. Do that. Go dancing. Enjoy your girlfriends. Go out for the night. One thing that I couldn't do for a long time was eat dinner by myself. And I was challenged to do that because I was like so scared to be by myself. And so someone said, you should try it. See how you feel. Well, the first 2 times I kind of felt awkward. Right. But then after that, I go out now all the time. I can go eat by myself, honey. I go eat, go sit at the table. Hey, how y'all doing? Hey. Go sit down. Go into the movies. If it's something I want to see, I'll go to a matinee. I don't too much go to the movies at night without my husband. So I'm not trying to, kill anybody. But at the movie theater. So I go with him. I watch a matinee or something. I don't have a problem. That's building self-esteem and confidence.
Definitely is. I have a me day every month. Some type of adventure. I know everyone else is like, I'm not doing that. And I used to not do things because I'm like, nobody's going to come with me. They're going to think it's weird. And I noticed my husband started going to the show by himself. And at first I'm like, hey, you always going to the show when I'm at work. And like once I noticed he did that once a month, and he was like, yes, I'm going out with me.
That's right.
And I'm like, and at first I'm just like, what? And then I felt the emotions of jealousy, like, man, he's really into him. He was like, I'm like, you. And then I made the joke and was like, you really love you? He said, yes, and you should really love you. He
Ooh,
was like, and you need to have you a you day too. He was like, babe, I love you, but I love me more, and you should feel that same way about you. He's like, go out there and have a me day, and I've been doing it ever since. Ever since.
see, it's so much.
It
It's
is
so
because
much
it is
fun.
awkward at first, and it's like, I mean, but it's what places I go is people there. So if I just gotta have a conversation, meet a new stranger, learn a
Yeah.
new thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, do something different. And you don't have to worry about who want to go or not. Now I'm okay. I've been to concerts by myself and everything. Like,
Yeah.
I'm my best company.
Right? You know, it's a part in that Dr. Seuss movie where he does the calendar check. It's the Christmas movie of Dr. Seuss. He
Mm-hmm.
does the calendar check, and on that little calendar check, he said, because somebody wanted to meet with him or something. He wanted to meet with somebody, whatever. But
Mm-hmm.
then it was a little part in there. He was just looking at it. He said, "Oh, lunch with myself. I can't miss that again." With yourself again, okay?
Right.
Uh, Oh my God, I love that part of that movie with Dr. Seuss. Oh my Lord. But you
Was that
do
the
have to put
French?
yourself on the calendar.
Yeah.
The Grinch. What I say, Dr.
That sounds
Seuss?
like that's
Not
the
the
French.
Grinch, the
Yeah.
Grinch, the Grinch. That's what it is. The Grinch. Yeah, not Dr. Seuss. Oh Lord. Yeah, the Grinch. But yeah, oh my God, he is so crazy.
So
He said,
here
I
on
can't miss it. I can't. Yeah.
look. So here on BYOK, we have a staple question, and that question is: if you could describe yourself in one word, what would it be and why?
So that one word would be silly. Why?
Mm.
Because I love to have fun. I love to cut up with everybody I meet. I wasn't a person that did that. So now I'm just that girl. I'm that girl that goes around and don't meet a stranger because we gonna talk. Okay? We gonna have a nice conversation. So I'm silly. I love to cut up like crazy.
I love that. I love that. My mom is like, nobody is a stranger to her. Absolutely no one.
Right. Love everybody, honey. I do. I love everybody. I love to cut up with them.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. Do you have any upcoming projects, events, books that's coming up in the future that you like to share?
Well, I am working on, like I said, the parents workshop. We're transitioning it to do it on Zoom.
Mm-hmm.
So we are working on that now. My organization. It should be coming out in October. Where we'll start having the conversation, the parent real talks
Mm-hmm.
on Zoom with the organization. So I would definitely tell you guys, look me up on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. On Facebook, I'm author_Dewitt on Instagram. And on Facebook is Unbreakable Faith. And of course, Michelle Dewitt on Facebook. Also on Instagram, I am Unbreakable Faith on Instagram as well. So yeah, just follow me, check me out, and you'll see all the great things that we're doing. We just did a back to school drive, and we're getting ready to do a blanket drive for our homeless in November. Like I said, October, we're going to open this workshop online for our parents, that because I've talked to so many people across the nation now, that they're asking, can we do a workshop for the ones that we know we're not going to be able to go to the UK, so some of the podcasters are asking, for us to do that, and I'm like, you know what, yeah, let's do that. Let's
Yeah,
do that.
I love that. I love that. I love your work. I love what your organization stand for. Like we need, like you said, we need more of that. We need more awareness. And sometimes it's like I like the parent classes because sometimes it's just you just don't know how or what to do or how to navigate through things. So it's good to have a road map or something, like a guide or some direction on how to navigate during certain situations because you get this child, but you get no pamphlet with it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so one of your things is to protect your child, and just you feeling defeated because you failed to do one of the main things as a parent, and you think it's a failure on your behalf, but we can't control what happens. And so I think sometimes parents get caught up in that. Like I noticed my mom does that. Like she'll, if something happens with us somehow, she'll be like, well, I should have did that. Mom, life happens. We can't control the people around us. And so I said all that to say some parents just feel defeated when they find out that their child has been violated, when, their main goal was to protect them from this world. And so it's good to have someone to say, first of all, it's not your fault. Even the parents, even the family members will blame themselves. It's not just the person who's violated, but it's the person who loves the person that was violated that blames themselves as well. So it's good to have good that you have systems in place and programs in place so that you can help them navigate through their feelings while they're trying to help that person navigate through theirs.
Absolutely, because excuse me, the battle is both the caregiver and the child.
Right.
They're affected just as much, and just a small little portion. My child, my bonus baby, she held it in for a while, but she was violated, and I'm like, okay. She had to. The process that she utilized was walking to get it out. She's in counseling currently today. It was when she was younger. She wasn't in my life at that time. But my bonus baby is who she is. She's still my baby today, But with counseling, she had to get it out because she deals with anxiety. And I'm so glad that she shared that with me and her dad, that she went through that. So as a person that has been through that, I have compassion with what she's dealing with. But she's doing great with her counseling sessions. She's doing wonderful in school. And so it's just that much. Just that little bit means so much. Just that little bit means so much. So we have to do better. We just need to step up our game and just do better.
I really, yeah, most definitely. Oh, well, thank you so much for being on our show today. Like, you are really bringing awareness, in your city, and spreading abroad, because we need things like this. I don't know if you want to start a chapter in different states or any part of the world, but that would be amazing, because we need this type of awareness. We need this type of education. And like you said, this isn't an everyday thing. This is not, sun up, sun down type of situation. This needs to be spotlighted and handled. So thank you so much for the work that you do. Thank you so much for spending your time with me on this lovely Saturday.
Yes.
And just sitting here and chatting with me and listeners. Like what Michelle said, if you're afraid to tell, your family or those close to you, seek a counselor, seek a safe space. Let your voice be heard, or just talk, because sometimes we're just on mute. Just take the mute button off and find somebody that you're comfortable with to share your experience with, so you can start your healing place, So until next time, everyone, don't forget to be kind to yourself and also to each other. Bye.